Me before we.
Something disagree.
But in the end,
There's a plea.
Get back together with me. Hi, everyone.
Okay, take a breath.
Welcome back to another episode of
So dysfunctional. I hope you understood that.
Okay.
I'm crying. Are you crying?
Yes, I'm crying.
Okay.
We are so excited to have on today's guest. It's our dear friend Djung. But before we do that, let's get a little check-in on.
My week was pretty busy,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know why. But I feel like I have a lot of dinners going on. Kind of gives you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of how my calendar used to look like in like 2019ish.
Oh, she's getting her social life on. Okay.
Yeah. But I really need to not shop because I'm still recovering from all my Christmas expenses. So that's going on.
Yeah. Also, you're budgeting, right? That's why we couldn't go on our ski trip in January. We had to push to February.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I did that maybe the second week of January, and I have yet to update it because I'm so scared. I am truly being dismissive, avoidant. I'm so scared. I am so over the budget. I think I maybe doubled the budget. So that's that. And just to add on to all the expenses that I shouldn't have expensed, I took my family out to John and Vinny's for the very first time.
Fairfax location?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that like that's the
That's
better
the OG,
location?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. But my parents are also about efficiency, so they were so sick. Okay, I can't even say so sick because they literally just drove by like on Fairfax, didn't see parking spots, and paid $25 for valet.
Oh my gosh.
And you know me, I feel like I'm a valet. Like I'll do that too if it's like 10 max. I know you're not.
I'm not because
The one
I have
thing-
parking gene.
Yeah,
My parents
yeah.
get great parking and they have passed on the parking gene to me because I always get prime parking.
Yes, you do. And so I just thought that like it was so crazy that my dad paid $25, and
Yeah.
actually I was pretty full. But I mean, I should be. We ordered like 4 pastas, 2 pizzas, and a salad.
That's a lot of food.
But yeah, it was just so mediocre. And maybe it's because yeah, it's my boyfriend. It's definitely him. But he's been trying some restaurants here in LA, and he's resided in other states. I haven't really like lived in other states.
Right.
I'm not counting upstate New York, because I probably only consumed like dining hall food for the majority of my stay there. But anyways, he was just saying like food here is really not good. And maybe it's because I've been hearing that just so like consistently and constantly that I just feel like there's no restaurant that's made me go like,
That makes me so sad because I've been eating so well.
What? Like the only things that made me go like is like homemade like food from my mom or dad. So anyways, John and Vinny's, I give it a B-.
Dude, that's so freaking sad.
Yeah,
Well, we
I'm sad too.
we did get some tips from Tony Tones. If you guys don't know Tony Tones, we go to church with him. He's like an older brother figure. He's also a father now, but he recommended Osteria Labuca, and so I think you need to try that next.
Okay.
Yeah, he said like,
I feel like I've heard of it.
oh really? I had never heard of it.
But maybe like Osteria. Maybe that's why.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's a common word.
It is a common word.
No, for sure. And so yeah, check that out next.
Okay, Osteria Labuca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my check-in is completely different, not food related at all, but basically, okay, a little bit of tea. So timeline wise, me and my ex, we broke up May of last year.
Yes.
In November of last year, he had reached out just to be like, hey, like, I just like want to check in with you.
Yeah.
And right, we talked about it on the podcast, how you manifested me having like a very cordial
Yes, we
breakup.
did.
Like we ended on good terms. The check-in was fine. Like it was really nice to like hear his voice, hear about his life. And then he had told me then, oh yeah, I'm gonna reach out in January, just to like do
so
another
weird.
check-in. Yeah, like he had this all planned out. And so, you know, breakup has been done. I've been going on dates, getting over my first relationship ever. And then like in January, he calls me and he's like, oh, can we Zoom? We Zoom. Seeing his face was a little bit shocking just because like it was so familiar to me. And then he like is talking, but I can tell that he has something to say. And so I'm like, okay, what's up? Like let's stop with like the small talk, like with the fluff, like what's actually going on. And basically he's like, so I've been thinking about us. I've been thinking about our relationship. And I'm wondering if the door is still open to like continue our relationship on a deeper level.
I'm just shocked. Wow.
And so I was like, hi, yeah, no, like the door is not open in any sense. Like I had like I've moved on with my life.
Yeah.
And then he like proceeds to like
That's
try
crazy.
to kind of convince me for like the next hour. Like literally an hour. And then at the end of the call I started crying, not on camera because like I didn't want to like be crying in front of him, but it felt like I was going through the breakup again. And so yeah, just that experience of like my ex trying to get back with me, just I thought was a perfect way to transition into talking about our topic today. Because, you know, sometimes getting back with your ex is not the move in my case, but sometimes it is in Djung's case.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have any, you know, firsthand experience, but I'd love to hear about both because I've always been like how can you like the heartbreak, and maybe it's a sign, everything happens for a reason. But we had a conversation like, oh, but maybe that's more fitting when you're a bit younger.
Right.
But remember we were saying just kind of like, well, maybe the circumstance is a bit different. The situation's a bit different. And especially like, I mean, none of us are married here, but you know, like what if you broke up and you had kids together, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and we're not like talking about the types of breakups where you're like breaking up, getting back together every other day.
Yes,
like
yes,
it's not
yes.
that sort of situation. It's like, oh, we're having a big breakup.
yes.
And then kind of maybe unexpectedly it's like, oh wait, maybe you are my person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Djung, what I know that like, you know, you were in a relationship for how long?
Before we broke up, it was at least a year. It was close to a year.
Oh, okay.
We just actually had our 1-year anniversary, and it was a couple weeks after that we broke up.
Oh, wait. So wait, really quick. Do you guys celebrate your 1-year anniversary on the original? Date?
We do. That is still our anniversary date.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Funny
April
question.
5th. April 5th.
I almost feel like if that ever happened to me, I would go back, count the days, and subtract it. You know what I mean? I feel like I would subtract it.
Get real accurate up in here.
Exactly.
Okay. And then how long were you guys like broken up for before you guys got back together?
I'd call it a break. The break was around 3 months. It was a decent break, but it was...
That is a decent break.
Yeah.
It was a decent break. A lot of time to think and do stuff, but...
Do stuff.
a lot of gym time. A lot of gym time. A lot of gym time for me.
Okay. Did you drop like 10 pounds?
I think my bench press went up by like 200 pounds. That's not true. That's not true.
And yet you're still not a part of the 1,000 Club. Okay.
I'm laughing, but I have no idea what that means.
1,000 Club is like when your deadlift, bench press, and squat is like it adds up to 1,000 or more.
You'll get there.
I think Djung is at like 900. Right?
I'm close. I think Julie's around maybe like the 200 club, and I don't know if that's for like weightlifting. For weightlifting. for weightlifting, no.
Wow.
For lifting weights, squat, deadlift, and bench.
You're gonna get canceled. Are you fat shaming me? You're gonna get canceled. Oh my god, why was I so bony?
Julie has lost a lot of weight. since I first met her. So she looks great.
If you keep being mean, if you keep being mean, I'm gonna insert that photo of when your hair used to go one all around and was like this. Like one all around.
No one made fun of me, though. They liked it.
Nobody liked it.
Did anybody explicitly tell you they liked it, or did they just not comment on it?
Exactly.
They would just say new haircut, and I'd say yeah. And they'd be like, all right.
That reminds me of you know that guy on TikTok that's like, Jabria, you smart? And then the answer totally wrong and like, okay, moving on. All right, well.
Okay, so you got back in the gym, or you continued to go to the gym.
Yes,
your bench press went up 200. That's crazy.
No, not 200. He wishes 200 more.
I wish 200, yeah.
More, like maybe like 50.
That's
It's
a
close
lot.
to the goal.
Maybe like
Close
10.
to the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than before. More
5
than
on each
before.
side.
More than when I was dating, at least.
For sure.
Okay.
And you clarified that it was a break, not a breakup. Was this clarification like, did this happen afterwards, or had you, when initially doing the breaking up of I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, the breaking up of. That sounds right.
Did you think that it was like a legit like end, or did you think that it was a break?
Yeah, like in the back of your mind, you knew, I just need a break. Like Ross and Rachel, they were on a break.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then you knew,
Didn't watch
like
Friends.
they were still, yeah. Oh, but
Yep.
you knew the
Yep.
reference.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you knew eventually you'd get back together.
No, I didn't. I thought it was going to just be like a forever breakup. I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't planning on reaching out to her or talking to her again. So it was in my mind going to be, we're going to leave it here. You're going to go your way. I'm going to go my way.
Right.
And what were hopefully you're comfortable talking about it now because you guys are back together, but what were kind of the reasons why you came to that conclusion of, yeah, we need to go our separate ways?
That's a good question. There was a lot of things that I didn't really like about, I guess, her or what she did or how she made me feel. But I think it's kind of normal for people to think that once they're going through a breakup, they kind of like, it's kind of easy for people to blame the other,
Yeah.
the significant other. And I definitely did that. I mean, I was definitely a culprit of that. But I guess after breaking up, it was more so of how I acted and then kind of how I felt more so than what she was doing or like what she could have changed.
Were you communicating these things to her?
No, and that's actually one big reason why we broke up. Communication was not there at all. I feel like a lot of Korean males, maybe just males in general, can relate to me because guys don't really like sharing feelings.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty widespread, but I am like the exact same. I'm just like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just, you know,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just like my dad. You know, my dad really doesn't talk too much about like how he feels or like, and say things on a like emotional level. And I'm the same. I kind of am very surface level, I guess, when it comes to like my emotions and how I feel. So this kind of, I mean, it translated to the relationship, and like, obviously you need to talk in a relationship for it to be healthy. And I realized that later after the breakup, but
Is she a communicative person?
oh, she can talk all day about how she feels. Oh, she will go like, I don't even know how long she goes. She will go for so long. She will be like, oh my gosh, I've been talking the whole time. So you should talk too. And I'm like, oh my,
It's really cute. It's really
Cute.
she does talk a lot, and it's great to listen to her. She speaks really fast too. So
She
it's
does.
like, it's like yeah. So
No, I think that's common, like especially for guys. Like if you don't have practice, if you don't like have like those examples, like when you're growing up about like how to talk about your feelings, like dude, those are hard conversations, like much harder than any work conversation, like any like even conversation with friendships.
Wait, you just said that that's much harder than work conversations? Like, do you get me now? Like, I feel like with work, you know what I mean? Like with
Yeah.
work, the objective is so clear.
Right.
But like, it's almost like you care so much, especially in a relationship. I feel like I can't communicate things because I spend too much time trying to decide if it's even worth like picking the fight almost. I mean, you don't mention it expecting it to be a fight, but more times than not, it's, you know, it ends up being kind of a heated discussion. And so I think that's why I spend too much time trying to decide, should I bring it up or should I just like eat it up? Should I,
That's good.
you know? You know
Whoa.
what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
good.
So, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. But did I really let it go? Did not let it go. And then I bring it up like 2 months later and I'm like, I give like my boyfriend attitude and he's just like so caught off guard.
Right. Like, because he's left in the dark. Like, you don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
And so,
super blindsided.
yeah, it's going to manifest in other ways.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And that's why I can also relate when, I think this was what you meant, but like when you're already upset at somebody, things that usually don't upset you, like start upsetting you. So
Yeah.
now you're upset about like 5-6 things that the person did.
Oh, yeah.
When normally like them not putting their shoe away or right, like washing like those things wouldn't upset you, but oh, why is it always so messy in the shoe section? Or you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like those little things upset you when you're already upset.
Does your boyfriend have a lot of shoes?
No, he doesn't. He actually doesn't. He doesn't. That's just an example.
No, I
That's just
feel
an
you.
example.
I feel you.
I'm
No.
gonna be really honest. I think it's not that I think I know I'm a lot messier than he is. He left an ice, one of these, next to his, because he has a strict like no eating in bed. Like I eat in bed. Like he does not eat in bed. I left this on his
Nightstand.
nightstand, and he was just waiting to see how long it would take for me to bring it down.
I'm
I brought it down yesterday. I think it was there for like 2 weeks. So
wow.
Oh, man.
yeah.
I see.
I don't know if that story gets better than when you were in college, Julie.
They already know.
Reveal.
Oh.
They already know.
Oh,
No, they know about the ant.
The ant.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
infestation.
Okay,
Yeah.
but, okay, wait. I need to clarify just in case like you guys don't remember the story, but I wasn't dirty and had like donut crumbs everywhere. That wasn't the problem. I had the donuts in the bag and it was on the floor.
Julie, do you know how thin that bag is? Like, your donuts are gonna go stale. Like,
you
put
know
it
what's
in a
like-
Ziploc.
But you know what's so funny is my my housemate next to my room was Chris, and I was in his room like just kind of bugging him, and I found a couple ants, and I was like, "Ew, you're so gross!" Like when you have ants in your room. But it was carpet. That's why it was so dangerous because you couldn't see them until you like really focused on your floor, and it was a freaking like trail. We definitely have a video.
Yeah,
And
somewhere in the
somebody was
archives.
lint rolling them, somebody was Febrezing them, somebody was
You guys got creative with those
putting
cleanup
them.
methods.
We did. I'm very grateful to my roommates, my housemates. But anyways, to get back to the topic, you mentioned communication and the lack of communication you guys had and how that affected your decision to break up. But were there any other realizations or
Like self-reflection things on your part.
that led to the decision?
There for sure were. I think one big thing, I remember you saying this a lot, Hannah, that COVID was a pretty big struggle for you in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cried a lot. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was the same.
Yeah, you cried a lot. Mhm.
Besides the crying, because guys don't cry.
Boys don't cry.
It was just like so, it's kind of sad to say, but it's so true. In the beginning of COVID, that's when I first started dating my girlfriend. And like during that time, there was nothing for me to do besides work at home. I wasn't dreading work, but I really disliked the type of work I was doing and the space I was in. So it'd be like an 8 to 5, get done with work. And then like the whole rest of the day, I'd just be looking forward to seeing her. And that's like was the highlight of my kind of day every day. But it was like sad because like my focus was so much like on seeing her. I had nothing else in my life that I looked forward to. It was like I couldn't see friends, I couldn't like play sports, I couldn't work out, I couldn't do anything that I typically do. So yeah, seeing her would be like the only thing I could do. And I didn't realize that was like an issue until I guess after the breakup. It's like you can't have your world can't revolve around one person or one thing.
Ooh.
Because once that one person can't see you or like is busy, like your life is kind of like
Vanilla.
Yeah, there's nothing to do besides like, I don't know, be on your phone and watch YouTube, or that's what I did a lot of. So if I would say, hey, let's meet up one day, And if she kind of like told me, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I can't meet up today. I actually have plans with my friends. It would get to the point where I would get upset and like actually kind of question her priorities and loyalty to me. I'd be like, hey, so we were going to meet. It's like, so you can always see your friends. It's like, I'm your boyfriend. Yeah, I guess you would just prioritize our relationship a little more than just like your friendships. And yeah, I didn't think about it then, but that's very unhealthy for me and my significant other.
Yeah.
I guess revolving your life around one person kind of burdens yourself, but also the other person. And I realized that.
That's huge. Actually, when you said that, like, she kind of like became the only thing that you look forward to, I think like we were going through our breakup around the same time.
We were.
And what's crazy is like I feel like I was low-key on the receiving end of it, and just like you said, it's a burden on yourself and like your girlfriend. Like I definitely felt that burden. Like I was like, okay, he may not be saying it, but like I don't know what else like he had going, if that made sense. Like he would see friends here and there, but like it was like I had the entire weekend reserved, like every single night at like a certain time, like we would FaceTime or Zoom. Like it becomes a burden because like I was missing out on conversations with my roommates. Like it was just like normal mundane time, but like I was missing out on so much. And so yeah, I think that's like a crazy perspective, like to see it on your end of things.
Yeah, I was kind of on the giving end. You were on the receiving end.
Quarterback, receiving back.
Receiving back? Receiver?
Receiver. All right, moving on.
Yeah, okay. So you mentioned communication, COVID. What's another realization you had?
One other thing, I guess this is more for me personally. I dive straight into a relationship if I get into one. I'll meet you on the first day or first week and I'm going to give 120%, like as if
There's a lot of passion.
That's a lot. It's a lot. It's as if we're like, we've been dating for like 3-4 months. It'll kind of be like the same feeling. And that was just, I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's just like who I am. And I can tell my girlfriend is a little different. So the feelings I felt during the beginning stages of a relationship, it makes sense for someone not to give, or someone not to fully kind of dive in and fully trust the other person. It makes sense.
Right.
It clearly does. But for me to be in that position where I did fully trust and fully commit and like expect like the same feelings reciprocated, I was just very hurt because I guess I would take things to like a certain level in my relationship. So I was kind of taking things fast. And she was just
like
emotionally, I guess emotionally, and she was more on the cruising end of it, or this is a relationship, I want to see where it goes. And I was more head on, okay, this is it. I'm already like planning not my marriage, but like, okay, this is someone I can see getting married to, even without even knowing her as much. So I learned from that, obviously.
Like you were at the like sports mode. She was on neutral.
He was on ludicrous mode. She was on neutral.
I'm really proud of my analogies today.
They're great.
Yeah, she was on the, because you were like, she was cruising and stuff. She's on the neutral, just taking it day by day, second by second.
I have a question. Do you think that guys in general are like 120%, I don't even know you, but I can see a future with you, like let's freaking do this? Whereas girls like tend to be like a bit like, oh, I need to get warmed up, we need to build a foundation and trust.
I have an add-on question too. Think about that. And were you like this in all of your relationships?
I'll answer, Julie. Yes. Yeah, I've been like this. I've only been in a few relationships in my life, and like my last one was very long.
Very long.
How long was it? Why are you laughing?
That just sounds funny. I'm so sorry. It isn't very long. You know who says very long? Oh yeah, like I was in a long-term relationship, but I've never heard anyone say, "Oh my."
It was like, oh damn, I was really
very
getting like
long.
dragged along.
That was very long. Excuse me, I didn't mean to be rude, but It was just really funny.
You know what I mean. The relationship was a long-term relationship. And I was obviously very invested in it. And I thought this would be similar. So I was invested in the relationship the same as I was in my previous one. And, you know, that was my, I wouldn't say mistake, but, you know, my thought process was, okay, if I'm going to meet someone and I like her, you know, why not give, you know, my all and kind of give her that, I guess, respect and attention that maybe she wouldn't receive otherwise.
Oh.
But I felt like that was a bad call on my end because it's like it's a misalignment. We're not going to meet eye to eye on things,
Sports
you know?
mode, sports mode.
Our sports mode, exactly.
Yeah. And her question was,
Do you think that guys in general tend to go ludicrous mode, even without maybe knowing the person fully?
No, totally. Guys are very much if they want something, they'll, you know, a lot of guys, they'll just go for it, you know, go get it. But that's the thing. Guys also, if they have a lot of interest and like they show stuff, I guess if a guy can get attracted to you that quick, he can get unattracted just as quick, is what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Is what I'm saying.
that's so shallow.
I know. But if there's a guy that like he like fully commits to a relationship very quickly, like it'll
and then
only
she farted in front of him, something like that. Like, girls fart.
You poo?
Yeah. Honestly, you think this is a
we're
joke?
done.
Djung said that to me. I was the first girl. I was the first girl
Oh my gosh.
that farted in front of. Okay, and I was like, "What about your sister and your mom?" And he was like, "No, like their family or something like that." He was so shook. I farted in front of him.
Oh gosh.
I love that.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Didn't hope that it was like a stank like
Stop lying. You don't even remember. It definitely was
no,
not.
it was a cute little fart. But yeah, just as fast as a guy can like someone, it can be like just as quick for him not to like someone is like depending on what she does. And like
That's crazy.
For me though, it was just like it took a lot longer
To like your girlfriend?
to like not like because I liked her so much.
Oh,
wait.
so like you knew
Oh.
these feelings were like coming up and like getting ahead maybe, and you had to like pull back.
Yeah. A lot of times I pulled back, and that's where like the communication and stuff like didn't come into play. And if they did, things would like probably have ended up
I feel
differently.
like she would have really appreciated it.
She really does. Yeah. She wants me to
If
communicate.
you told her like,
That's what I'm thinking.
I like you so much. Like I like when you blah blah blah. I like when you. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel cared for when you blah. Like if men communicated
refuse.
that,
Go ahead.
like I feel like it would make the girl so happy.
I disagree.
What do you
Okay,
mean?
because here's what I have to say. The reason why I asked that is because I've had like a
that
couple people in my life, I don't even know them. Like I barely know them. Maybe we've gone on 1 or 2 dates and they've like already given so much effort, been like, I like you, I'm interested, like I really like you, like do you like me back? And I'm like, I don't know you yet. And it freaks me out because I'm like, this could be any other girl. And would you feel the same? Like, is it just because
Ooh,
like
'cause
I'm
you're
giving
a-
you attention or like I'm there and we're spending time together?
Wow.
And so I think in a sense, it's kind of good that you held back.
actually I agree with that more now. Yeah,
Like I think it's good that you held back because like if I get overwhelmed, I freak out. Like I run. Like I'm a track star. I'm a runner. I'm a track star. And so I think when I start to see like too much commitment and it's unfounded,
Oh,
I'm like,
it doesn't seem genuine.
sussed. Yeah.
True.
Interesting.
No. And for guys, it's like if I see a girl and she ends up liking me, it comes to the point where the guy's like, all right, I found someone that likes me. I haven't had someone that liked me in a long time. I don't know if this like situation will come up again because they're just not used to like girls liking them.
Right. Because you
And-
guys deal with a lot of rejection in general.
Exactly. Yeah. For guys, it's definitely a lot like my red pill guys out there. It's tough, you know?
Yeah.
Girls look for guys with status and more of just like
What's a red pill?
It's
It's
A gym
Yes.
reference?
no, it's Matrix.
yes, Julie. It's
And
okay.
What's Matrix?
Julie.
Like Matrix,
Ludicrous.
the movie?
Yes.
Well, a lot of girls. It's true. A lot of girls look for guys that are attractive, just like more out there socially.
Yeah.
A little more.
Like alpha.
Yes, alpha males, exactly.
Right.
Girls don't really like beta males, but what if the beta male actually found a girl that liked him? That beta male is obviously going to latch on and cling to that girl.
So are you saying you're a beta male?
I'm not saying I'm a beta male, but I'm not saying I'm an alpha male either. But it's more so, I guess not.
You're a gamma male. Sorry, continue.
Oh my. It's more so the mindset going into a relationship, because obviously like those beta guys that don't have girls or that aren't used to like girls liking them, it's tough for them to like let go of that opportunity where a girl does like them, you know. So me being someone who like, obviously I don't have like girls jumping on me, but
You don't have to say obviously. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
so it is obvious. So when like someone pretty or cute like my girlfriend ends up liking me, I just feel like, oh, this is a great chance. I don't want to let this opportunity go, and I don't want to wait for like the next moment this will happen, because I don't know when it will. You know, that's the mindset I kind of had, and that's what a lot of guys have.
So I don't mean to put you on the hot seat, but you realize there was no personality there. I just feel like for me, the hotness level,
Okay.
like it's not as like, maybe that's just for me. I don't know. Like I feel like, you know, humor has never really been like a big 10 for me.
Right.
But also my humor is very, it's not niche.
It's not hard to achieve.
It is not. It truly isn't.
Yeah.
Someone that can just make me smile, make me laugh, like have a fun time. Like, so it's about like what comes out, I really think, from the inside. But I'm not saying, but the first initial attraction has to be physical.
Right.
Right.
But I know you're not the only one. So I think that's the difference, because to what you said, you can't really get the personality and get in the in-depth conversations of what their thoughts and like ethics, morals, all those things are really like on those first 2 dates, because you're probably just talking about like just like kind of more shallow like
Right.
life experiences.
Right.
And so I think that is very interesting.
Right.
Sorry, I had one more comment, which is so funny. Going back to something you said a while back, I too, we all know, am an onion. Seems like your girlfriend is too. I don't know if she's as much of an onion as I am, but my boyfriend is also a clam. You're a clam. Hannah's a clam. And it was so funny because I mustered up this courage to say something, and he wasn't upset by it, but he was saddened by it, because we were months into our relationship. He was kind of an open book, shared so many things with me from the get-go. It took me kind of a longer time, but for me it was like, okay, today I'm going to tell him. Or it was more organic than that, but you know, in the moment I was like, okay, I think this is the right time to tell him. And he was just like, oh, like, why did it take you so long to tell me?
Oh.
And I just think it's so interesting, like context wise, because when you were talking about how you guys were at different speeds, she was at neutral, you were on sports mode, like, yeah, there was a misalignment. I guess that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And that happens. I probably in like a lot of relationships, I guess communication, you guys did talk about it, and now you're good with your boyfriend.
Yes,
right?
yes, we're great.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys are now going at the same speed.
Yes. I think he's still a little bit ahead, like a little bit, but I try very hard. And it's crazy because I've said this on the podcast. I always thought I was a great communicator, but talking about the touchy-feely emotion part is much harder, and it's so foreign, right? So when you try to do it, you don't even know how to do it. You don't even know how it's going to come out. You think about it, and it comes out, or it sounds one way in your head, but then when you actually say it, it's kind of off, and it doesn't truly translate from how you're thinking to
Right.
when the moment it comes out of your mouth.
Right.
But I think like practicing that, and that is when I realized I needed to strengthen my emotions vocabulary. There's definitely a word for that. But anyways, so I think now it's much easier because I've practiced it so many times, but I'm sure that's kind of where you sit in square one about like there are things you want to say, but you don't.
That's true. Yeah. Well, now I'm back together with my girlfriend.
Right.
Yes.
After all those realizations and after learning about myself more,
Things have changed?
things have changed. Yeah, things have changed. I'm growing a lot. She's growing a lot. But the one main thing that I focus on, it is me before we.
Ooh.
Gotta put me first. Gotta put me first. He has no idea. Why are you laughing?
Oh, I was actually coughing.
Oh, sorry.
So that is like kind of the line, me before we. You know, some people might disagree. Oh, I'm rhyming.
You want to start rapping for us?
Me before we, people might disagree. But in the end,
Oh, you fake.
we'll be...
Oh, you're so fake. Moving from guy to guy. This is Djung's rap. I'm singing Djung's rap.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that your competitor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Guys, I don't know what's going on either. Keep going.
Yeah.
Me before we.
Something disagree.
But in the end,
There's a plea.
Get back together with me. Bars, dude, bars.
Mic drop.
oh my gosh. Oh, so yeah, that's how it ended up. You know, me before we, and I'm so much happier now that I live by that kind of.
Yeah, how
slogan.
so? How so?
How so? I guess before the me versus we, I was very, I'm gonna take care of her. I'm gonna like make sure she's happy before I'm happy. I'm gonna do everything in my everything I'm capable of to make sure this one person is happy in my life. You know, because if she's happy, I'm happy. You know, you see that on movies a lot. You see that on
Yeah.
everywhere, and you see it like rom-coms.
K-dramas.
Yeah, K-dramas, exactly. Really, there's no reason why you can't take care of yourself and also make the other person happy. If you're not happy and you're trying to you're doing so much for that other person to make them happy, that just means you're doing something wrong.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Right?
Because how can you
Definitely.
give from an empty cup? Like
Yes.
if you're running on 30%, and it's spread out so thinly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think, I don't remember verbatim, but many episodes ago, Hannah, I think you said something so profound about the significant other shouldn't be wearing all the hats, you know, of being the comforter, being the therapist, and right, taking on all that burden from your struggles.
Yeah.
They don't need to be the problem solver. I mean, you'll still probably share all these things with them, but I think that burden of wanting to fix it for them when you're not even 100% yourself is a mistake we all make.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it makes sense. You want to see your partner happy. But then if you think about it in the reverse, too, from her end, if she realizes that, you're not happy, I think, that would affect her as well.
You guys know my favorite class from college.
Families in the 21st century?
Yes, working family in the 21st century. And it's crazy because you said in the very beginning you weren't very happy at your job, right?
Right.
You dreaded it, and that's why you were looking forward to seeing her.
Exactly.
And it's crazy because we don't think it affects us too much, but when one aspect of your life isn't going too hot, it bleeds out. It's what is it like?
It's like watercolor.
It's like watercolor.
It's like my girlfriend's legs. I'm sorry. I just had the one.
Okay. Now I get it. Anyways,
Guys, this podcast is Nsfw. Warning. Oh my gosh. Oh,
You know
okay.
what that means.
She doesn't know what it means.
Why are you laughing? You were laughing.
I was so embarrassed to ask because I was like, "Oh, Matrix the movie," and Hannah was like, "Yeah."
Oh,
I'm sorry for shaming you. Not
It's
safe
all right.
for work. Not safe for work.
Okay.
NSFW.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
What's FWIW?
Fwoo.
I have no idea, and my boss keeps using it. And I asked him once, and he never answered it, so I don't want to ask again. That is all.
Oh my god, wait, that's
Okay.
so funny.
FWIW, if you know what it means, please let me know. I have no idea. I
my
literally
gosh.
looked it up. But anyways,
Okay, so besides the focusing on you, what else do you think changed when you guys got back together?
oh, and I guess, and when you guys got back together, was there not expectations really, but I guess communicated expectations of how you guys were going to make this work out post the break?
So what has changed? Actually, Hannah, you said something in your earlier pods about right time, right person, and right person, wrong time. So I felt like before our breakup, it was more of right person, wrong time. But after we got back together, it was more of a right person, right time. And my life stage after those 3 months of not dating her were very different, actually, I'd say. First of all, I got a new job. And so I was in a space where I was happier and I was more just relaxed at work, knowing that I'm doing something that I like. Second, I guess COVID restrictions were a little less strict. So I was able to kind of do things that I like, meet people that I usually meet, just get out of the house.
Yeah.
So those like two were the biggest. And third was also that part where I didn't really have anything to look forward to. Now I had stuff to look forward to, you know. That was ultimately the main things that kind of made me happier. And for her too, she was able to, you know, get a great job at a great company, and you know, she's still able to do things that she likes, you know. So it was kind of like I was happy with myself and what I was doing for me to be, you know, just as happy in the relationship. And Julie's question about communication, one of the points that we made sure we focused on while getting back in the relationship, it's funny, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I only answer if someone asks me a question. I don't usually share if they don't ask me a question.
Oh.
So if you ask me the right questions and pick at me, then I will answer it truthfully and kind of in a way that you want to hear it. But if you never ask me that question, I will not share it most of the time.
And so has the solution been that you are sharing unprompted, or is she just asking more questions and the right questions?
You know, you can say it's a little bit of both. She knows she doesn't really ask questions because she's used to talking and she's used to like speaking.
Right.
So she's used to saying how she feels normally without someone asking her. But me, I don't speak unless someone asks me how I feel. So it was kind of like a two-way deal. She would kind of work on asking how I feel a little more, and I would work on kind of just speaking without even like, when there's not even a question asked, I like about my day or like how work went, because sometimes I would ask but she wouldn't ask. So like I wouldn't be able to like say anything, or like I wouldn't feel like it was important enough to share.
Oh.
But we're doing a lot better in communication wise. That work thing is just like one thing, but when it comes to like more, I guess, serious issues, you talked about it before too, Julie. It's like we don't want that like month span of like not saying how we felt at that exact moment for us to get like even more angry like a month later.
Yeah.
So we felt like it was more important to like speak up at the spot. And even if you don't speak up at the spot, maybe like a day after, but not bring it up in a way where you get mad or angry or upset, but just communicate that you did feel this way.
Yeah. And I acknowledge it's really hard, because is that how she communicates with her family? Like just, you know, being kind of an open book, sharing her feelings, right?
Very open book with her family, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, for me, in my current relationship, my parents know me so well. If we're upset at each other, they'll give me my time. I'll get over it, and then we'll talk about it. And my boyfriend is not like that. And so just going back to, I just acknowledge it's really hard when you first try to do it. It's really difficult because that's not what you're used to, and it takes time, right? Like I'm a year into the relationship, but it's still a work in progress, because you've been this way for 25 years of your life, right? And if I may share a really brief story.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make you look bad, because you're a great friend. You're a grade 9 friend. You're better than great. You're a grade 9 friend. He had to apologize to me once, freshman year of college. I have never seen anybody like struggle so hard to apologize. Like never. Like we lived in neighboring dorms, right? There were 2 separate dorms up on the mount.
Okay.
Meets me in front of my dorm. Literally, it's just silence. Like I could tell he's really trying to get it out of him. Really can't. I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry. What? And I'm, you know, like I heard it, but I've never seen anybody. So just that for reference.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's very difficult to talk about. You
can't even apologize.
Hopefully you're much better than that now. But man, just for reference, this was a couple of years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
look at the growth.
Yeah, you've grown.
Right.
You've become Julie.
He's better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've become
AKA.
better. You've become better. Yeah. Good job.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I hung out with your girlfriend at the surprise birthday party that she threw you, and you guys
Right.
seem great. Honestly, I can tell that you are like happier in all aspects of your life, not only your relationship. So yeah, it's true. Like everything bleeds out if like one thing goes wrong. And so yeah, I guess like this episode is just kind of say like there's no black and white answer as
Yeah.
to like if getting back together with your ex is going to be good or bad. Like, you know, the second time around could be worse potentially.
Oh, yes.
But as long as like I think like there is like self-reflection on both parts, like on what went wrong in the relationship, and then also like what you did to contribute to that, like I think that's like probably the most important thing that you can do
Yeah.
if you do see this person like in your future, maybe just at a later time.
Yeah. And I will say, just truly at the start of this podcast, I was like, oh, like, I don't understand it. How can like people, like, how can you guys get back together? That was how I used to think about it. Now I have a complete different opinion because maybe, like you said, those 3 months you grew a lot. It was a very different type of experience. And then when you guys did get back together, the circumstances were very different, right? You guys were both in different occupations, better occupations. And all that matters is if she made you happy pre-breakup, and maybe that time it kind of like ran its course type of thing, and then it didn't really work out. But when you guys meet again and decide to be in a relationship together, if in that moment, if you guys make each other happy, you know?
Right. I'd say just don't be afraid to open up to someone, even if it is your ex, because, okay, yes, that there is a bad stigma between like, oh, getting back with your ex. We all know that. But if it really was for reasons that are unfixable, then, you know, there's really nothing you can do. But if there's something you can do, and if there's something like that's worth fighting for, I'd say just go for it. Like you said, Hannah, it's not all black and white.
Yeah.
But if you do find someone you can love and truly just like be happy with in life, and like someone you just vibe with, I think it's definitely worth a second shot.
Yeah. I hope
Alright.
that you guys all are able to find the receiver back
There's a
to
receiver
your
back?
quarterback.
You are.
I'm so embarrassed.
Uh,
I can't believe I said that.
Dude, did you even go to Q's? What's going
I'm
on?
so embarrassed. You should feel disappointed, I feel like. I feel like a lot of my football education comes from this man, you know?
no, it does
What
not.
are you doing, Glendale
So-
High
It
football?
does not.
Yes, it does.
2015?
Who else did I watch, you know?
Everyone look at his highlights. He has highlights on the internet. Glendale High School. Daniel Jung.
And
2015.
Wait, what's the high school
Stop.
CIF championship? Oh, you guys didn't make it. Anyways, all right. You have the honor of doing our little ooh with us on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Deep and low. Ooh, one more time.
Can you keep doing that? Let me pat your back. Keep doing that.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, Kogis. Thanks for joining us on another episode of bulgogipod. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at bulgogi.podcast, on Twitter at bulgogipodcast, me on Instagram at HANAKATTT.
Me at BEJULIFIED.
Me at DANIELJUNGGG.
GGG. See yous.